Ever get that feeling? You know that like phantom limb sensation when you realize you've left your phone at home?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, yeah, maps and music are great and all, but there's something more going on there, right?
Totally. I think it speaks to how deeply intertwined we've become with these devices. This deep dive, though, we're going beyond the whole addiction narrative.
Right. Like 81% of American adults own smartphones.
A big thing.
But today we're getting into the why.
Exactly. Why this device? What makes it so, I don't know, essential to our daily lives?
And for that, we're going deep with the smartphone as a pacifying technology.
Melumad Pham, a classic.
Right. The title alone, adult pacifier. I mean, come on, what does that even mean?
Well, at its core, they're arguing that smartphones provide a sense of psychological comfort, security, stress relief, things we might not even consciously register.
Okay, see, now you say psychological comfort, and it sounds very, academic.
Right. Think of it like this. Remember those security blankets we had as kids?
Oh, yeah, totally.
This is the adult version. Always there, always reassuring.
You know what? I think they might be onto something. I mean, ever notice how anxious you get when you can't find your phone?
Right. It's that comfort factor.
Yeah.
But Melumad and Pham, they break it down even further. They point to 4 key properties: portability, privacy, personalization, and
haptic pleasure.
Yeah, haptic pleasure. We'll get to that.
Okay, so portability, I get it. My phone is basically glued to my hand these days. But privacy. Between work emails and group chats, it feels like my phone is the opposite of a private sanctuary.
True, but think about it. Even with all that, it's still your curated experience. The apps, the contacts, the information.
Right, yeah.
It's like teenagers retreating to their rooms, right?
Yeah.
It's a controlled environment.
That's a really good point. My own little world, even if it's a bit chaotic sometimes.
Exactly. And that feeds into the personalization aspect. I mean, it's your phone, right?
Oh, totally. Case, wallpaper, the whole deal.
Exactly. It reflects you. In fact, one study found that people hated the thought of someone else even using their phone.
Oh, yeah, it's weird. You don't hand over your phone easily. It's personal. Okay, so portability, privacy, personalization, but haptic pleasure. Is my phone secretly giving me, like, good vibes or something?
Kind of. It's about the feel, the smooth glass, the click of the buttons.
Wait, you're right.
Smartphones are designed for that sensory experience.
It's true. There is something kind of soothing about just holding and scrolling, like a stress ball or something.
And there's research to back that up. Those haptic qualities, they actually trigger feelings of comfort and pleasure. It's subtle but powerful.
So we've got these comfort-inducing qualities, but did they actually prove that smartphones reduce stress in action?
That's where the lab coats come in. They did these experiments, and in one, they compared smartphones to laptops in stress reduction.
Oh, I see where this is going. Okay, because most days I feel like both are equally likely to cause A and D relieved stress. What they find.
So both are distracting, sure. But here's the kicker. Only smartphones significantly reduce stress after a challenging task.
So even if I'm just scrolling through social media after a stressful meeting, the simple act of using MYY phone is more effective than, say, browsing the web on my laptop.
That's what their research suggests. And they took it even further. Another study found that using your own WN phone was significantly more comforting than using a similar lab phone. Even if it's the same model, that personal connection seems to make a big difference.
Wow, that is fascinating. It really highlights how much of this comfort thing is about the object itself, that feeling of familiarity and ownership. It's not just about whatever we're doing on our phones.
Exactly. It challenges us to look beyond those common narratives about smartphones, like they're just tools or we're all addicted, and recognize the deeper emotional needs they might be fulfilling.
It really makes you think. I know some people might still be wondering if it's really about the smartphone itself or just distraction. Maybe any screen would do the trick. Did Melumad and Pham address that?
They did. In another study, they presented stressed participants with 3 options: their smartphone, a laptop, or a newspaper.
Well, yes, most people chose their smartphone.
You know it. Even with limited options, smartphones still came out on top as the go-to stress reliever.
Okay, now that's really saying something. What is it about smartphones that makes them uniquely suited for this?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It seems to be a combination of factors. They're incredibly personal, portable, and engaging. They're with us all the time and provide that instant escape hatch when we need a break.
This is making me rethink my entire relationship with my phone. It's not just a source of procrastination and endless notifications. It's my pocket-sized haven of comfort.
I think that's a great way to put it. But this insight also raises some important questions.
Like what?
Well, if smartphones are so effective at providing comfort, could their design be intentionally leveraged to make us even more reliant on them? Where does conscious design end and accidental pacifier begin?
Those are really good questions. It makes you wonder if we're seeking comfort from our smartphones or if that comfort is being subtly encouraged, even exploited.
It's a complex issue without easy answers. But simply starting to ask these questions is a step in the right direction. Awareness is key.
So true. So how can we be more aware of our smartphone habits? What can we actually do with this information?
It starts with honestly examining our motivations. Next time you unlock your phone, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what need am I really trying to fulfill right now? You might be surprised by the answer.
It's kind of mind-blowing, right? Like, I always thought reaching for my phone after a long day was me just being lazy, wanting to zone out.
Right.
But maybe it's more than that. It's like this primal need for comfort we're hardwired with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our phones, they just tap into that so effectively. But that does raise some interesting ethical questions.
Yeah, doesn't it? It's like, are we seeking this comfort or is it being, engineered into our devices?
That's the question, isn't it? I mean, the research we looked at didn't get into the ethics of smartphone design specifically.
Right.
But it definitely makes you think, are we being subtly manipulated to seek comfort in our phones?
It's a bit Orwellian when you think about it. Like, 1 minute you're scrolling for cat videos, the next you're plugged into the Matrix.
Right. A bit of a digital dilemma for sure. But I don't think the answer is necessarily to ditch our phones altogether.
Right.
Maybe it's more about awareness. Understanding why we reach for our phones in the first place.
I like that, being more conscious of our usage.
Exactly. So next time you unlock that screen, just take a second. Ask yourself, what need am I really fulfilling right now? You might be surprised by the answer.
It's such a simple question, but so powerful. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive. Lots to ponder.
For sure. Always a pleasure to chat about this stuff with you.
And for everyone listening, keep those brains curious and maybe those smartphones a little further away. Just kidding. Or am I? Until next time.